Chapter 11. The Reasonable Lover. Flashback. Evan, don't cry, I'm right here. Whatever is on your mind, it can't be that bad. You can tell me anything. Hayden hugged me as we sat on the floor of his room. I was in my pajama bottoms and topless. Please tell me. I'm scared to. You might not want to be friends with me ever again, I muttered out as I wiped my tear feverishly. That's silly, I would never stop being your friend. Now tell me what's wrong, he stated firmly. I'm 11 and this my first sleepover and I'm scared of messing it up, and your hugs feel so great and I don't want you to let go of me. I could stay like this forever. Hayden hugged me tighter as the warmth built between us. I would never let you go, Evan. I'm happy that you came, plus you're the first friend I ever had over and that is willing to stay the night, he noted as he pulled away slightly to spot me a quick smile. Really? I asked as I tried to give him a small smile back. Come, let's get into the bed. I'll hug you until you fall asleep. I quickly did as he said. Once in the bed, he shuffled up against me. He placed his arm underneath my arm and wrapped it across my chest. Then he snuggled up to me, which placed my butt perfectly on his crotch. Never worry about me leaving your side again, okay? He softly whispered into my ear. Okay, I won't. The warmth of his body made me feel safe. Unconsciously I sank my body into his. You make me feel safe and warm. I never want to see you go. Hayden placed his head on my shoulder. Don't worry, I'm here for you, always. Now go to sleep, I'll keep you safe. I awoke with the sunlight hitting my face. The moment my eyes opened, Hayden's face was the first thing I saw. Hey you, finally you're awake. Had a good sleep. His warm smile sent heat all over my body, which made me felt cozy and safe, so I returned one to him. Yeah, I did. Did you? Hayden quickly and gently lifted his hand and creased my cheek, which made me blush. Then he quickly moved it and placed it over my shoulder and drew me into him. I aided him by scooting closer into him, resting my head on his chest right underneath his chin. I had a great dream, 'cause just me and you was in it, he stated as he patted my hair. Really? I asked softly. Yeah, what would you like to do today? Mom is probably up already cooking breakfast, he said nonchalantly. I'm not sure as yet. Can we stay like this for the whole date and stay inside? I've never been held like this before. It's different from Dad's. If you break away now, I think my insides would break apart and crumble. Hayden hugged me tighter as he giggled into my hair. Okay, let me go for a second so I could run down to tell Mom. We can have breakfast upstairs. I'll bring it up for us. Not wanting him to go, I slowly did as he said. I watched him as he got off the bed and walked out the door. As time passed, throughout the day Hayden and I just stayed in the room. 1 minute we're lying down on the bed wrapped up in each other's arms, just talking and laughing, and next minute we were dancing and singing to music and after playing video games on his television console. We ate lunch and watched cartoons in his room. We even played pretend that we were in the Star Wars universe. I was the innocent victim and he was on the dark side of the Force. He had me as his prisoner. As nighttime approached again, I couldn't help felt sad again. Luckily for me, Hayden was called out of the room by his dad for something. I have to go back home tomorrow. I don't want to be around them, I really don't. I know that Dad loves me, but the creature gets under my skin so bad. I don't know why we share the same room. I wish Dad would reopen the baby room he made and put him in there and let him rot. I felt tears leak out my eyes, but didn't pay any attention to it. I slowly walked over to Hayden's bed and laid down, facing the window as I looked out, but not really caring about what's going on outside. I wish I could stay with Hayden forever. He's the best person I know. I wished Mom was here so she could have met him. The three of us living together would have been awesome. As my mind began to be taken over by thoughts of Mom and images of her and Hayden meeting, my heart ached as tears pour out of my eyes even faster. I was so lost in thought that I didn't hear Hayden re-entering the room. Out of nowhere I felt a hand on my shoulder and one on my waist. Immediately I was flipped onto my back. Hayden looked down into my teary eyes and knew exactly what I was thinking. It's okay, Evan. Tomorrow is just the next day. The weekend will come again, he stated with a smile. I know, but I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you forever. I quickly launched up at him and wrapped my arms around his neck and whispered into his ear, I want to sleep with you forever. I always want to be by your side. He lightly pulled me off and looked into my eyes smiling. I want the same thing, and believe me when I say, I will be with you until the end. He noted softly. End of flashback. You know I could do that for myself, right? I don't need you to do that for me. I'm not a child. I stared at Hayden wickedly as he had placed me standing against the wall near the steps as he washed and cleaned my body with a rag. He had 2 buckets, one filled with soapy water as the other had clean water. Did you really had to fasten the chains so tightly to give me a bath? I asked, irritated. I wish you would stop complaining so much, I really do, Hayden stated sourly. As he got down to my dick he took his time as he passed his soft hands over it, cleaning it properly. My mind scrambled when he pulled back my foreskin to clean my head. His hands were so soft and it felt so good, my breath quickened and my dick started to pump, indicating it was getting hard. Really, you have no control, he said in a smug tone. Shut up, it's a natural reaction. He swiftly moved his attention from the front to the back. As he slowly moved around on my ass, he gently made his way into my crack. The moment the warm wet rag touched my hole, all the sensations of pleasure was gone and a sharp stinging pain immediately replaced it, which made me scream out, "Achwa, it hurts, stop please." Hayden quickly moved his hand. I barely touched you, he had a worried expression on his face as he looked up into my water-soaked eyes. It hurts, the pain is running through me. Hayden, what did you do to me? Tears flowed down my face as I stared down into his eyes, unable to move. Let me take a proper look at it. With that said, he gently held me by the thighs and turned my ass to the side so he could see it. Oh, I see, your cute hole has 2 small tears on it. I'll put some antibiotics on it. I quickly narrow my head and gaze at him as he looked up to me. Don't worry, it's an ointment. After running up the stairs and back down within 10 minutes, he rushed over to me as he took the cork off the ointment and squeezed some of it onto his finger. He gently held me again and turned my ass towards him. The moment his cool finger touched the inners of my crack I hissed, but soon calmed down as his rubbing softened. After a few seconds the rubbing of his finger began to feel desirable. My dick quickly rose. Hayden placed his finger farther up into my crack to apply the ointment on the other tear, which was more closer to the entrance. Soft moans and tears escaped from me as I felt my dick leaked out blissfully. How did that feel, babe? Is it better now? Hayden moved out from behind as he bowed his head to close the ointment. I glanced over to him with tears of longing in my eyes. I really hated that I felt that way, because it made me felt weak and for some reason I had no choice but to feel that way. Hayden stood and turned to put the ointment away. Hey Hayden, look at me, please. He quickly turned, but not as fast as his mouth dropped when he saw me. Tears flowed out the corners of my eyes, as drool ran down both the sides of my mouth, and my dick fully hard as pre-cum flowed out. Hayden, what have you turned me into? I'm craving for you again, please, I need it badly, I uttered seductively. I want to but I can't, you're hurt at the moment, remember? He easily made his way back to me as he dropped to his knees in front of me, but that doesn't mean I still can't make you come this way. Hayden took a hold of my dick and slowly started to jerk me off as he brushed his tongue and lips against the tip softly. See, stop please, you're not helping me, I need it badly. Just use your fingers again please. I seductively begged. But I can't, I will cause you pain. My body shivered from the remembrance of the pain, but for some reason it made me wanted it more, which pumped more blood into my dick. I want it, I spoke softly as I turned my face away from him. What, you want the pain? Tears rolled down my face a little as I confessed what I felt. It's the only thing that feels good to me right now. Go get your belt, I softly demanded. Wait, what, are you serious? I'm sorry about that, but I just lost it when you said you'd rather be dead than to be alone, he confessed sadly. It's okay, now go get the belt, I want it. It's about time I got beaten for what I did and caused. As my mind filled with thoughts of Timothy, I felt my dick soften and became limp. Evan, Hayden quickly stood in front of me as he pulled the chain slightly as he loosened it, freeing me from the wall. Then quickly he cupped my face, lifting my gaze to meet his. You need to stop blaming yourself and start looking forward. Come, he guided me down onto the mattress, pulling my naked body into his, as we face each other as he drew me closer into him, placing my head up underneath his chin as my face rested on his chest. Evan, I made a promise to you a long time that I would never leave your side, and I plan on keeping that promise now, he announced softly. Now, what do you mean now? I managed to mumble out on his chest, Hayden, I'm feeling cold. With that said, he quickly released me as he got up and made his way over to a cabinet and back. He handed me an underwear that fastened from the sides. He aided me in it. It was like a leather diaper. After 10 minutes of lying in Hayden's arms, he decided to break the silence. Evan, I had always loved you, still do, but I had to let you go when you and Timothy was in the hospital after your dad attacked. I was the one that put the money in your bag, and hoped that you had made it far away from Daniel and Matthew, which you did cause it was on the news that you and Timothy ran away from the hospital. I was happy but yet sad knowing that I would never see you again. Saddened that I lost you, I kept to myself. Eventually Mac and Kim pulled away from me, which caused our friendship to end before they left for college or some shit like that. I quickly pulled out of his hold and looked down into his face as he looked up into mine. Kim and Mac stopped speaking to you because you were depressed? I questioned, confused. Yeah, plus I was kinda a dick to them as well. With you gone for a while I barely ate anything, which caused me to lose all my fat, which you haven't said nothing about yet. He playfully rolled his eyes at me as he also gave a slight smirk. One of the main reason he was given the nickname Porkbutt was because he was fat. From the end of middle school to high school he had gained a lot of weight, but now as I looked at him through calm eyes, he was now slender with medium-sized muscles and his soft hazel brown eyes matched well with his mixed complexion, as well as his full plump lips. You look great, I blushed lightly as I coughed out the words. Great enough for you? I immediately bowed my head into his chest again as he giggled at me. Anyway, tell me why I'm chained up and where is Timothy? Looking up slightly, how do you know the boss? He's friends with my dad. The moment the boss realized it was you right away he contacted my dad, but it took us a while to come down. It took me and dad a while to plan and to come up with a lie to tell mom. She doesn't know that both of us are in this business. How long you've been in this business? I started before I ended middle school. I found out that dad was doing this by accident, so to keep quiet and not to tell his secret he allowed me to join him. I didn't say anything, I just watched him, and the more I did the more sad and pained he looked. I started to play with his face, which made him giggle a bit. I didn't want you to get the chance or the upper hand at some point to run away, so that's why you're chained up. I wanted to explain everything and explain how I feel about you, without you going crazy, but I promise you I'll unchain you soon, just be patient with me. I stared into his eyes as my mind became like a storm cloud. You're going to let me leave? I asked, surprised and lost. Yes, but I'm coming with you. I can't be without you again. I need you in my life. Please, Evan, I need you. My heart sunk when he said that. I saw in his eyes that he truly meant what he said. Out of the storm cloud that was in my head a beam of light shined through, and through my eyes I saw Hayden's face in a way I had never seen before. It was bright and almost new, kinda angelic. Hey Hayden, kiss me. Within seconds I felt his lips pressed against mine. Immediately I sunk my body on his. The heat from his body penetrated through me like a forest fire that caused me to want all of him again. Finally freedom, Hayden had took the chains off me as he placed some clothes on the mattress for me. Would you like me to bathe you? Hayden asked innocently. No, I stared wickedly at him as he smirked at me. 3 days in a row is enough, as I rushed to put on the clothes and a pair of shoes that Hayden brought with him. Once I was done, Hayden took my hand into his and swiftly guided me to and up the stairs. Hush, at this time of the night mostly everyone is sleeping and the guards are very much alert. The room Timothy and Plidgy are in is upstairs. I did as he said. I really can't believe that Timothy and I was in the same house. The way I've been feeling, it was like he was miles away. I will kill Plidgy if Timothy is hurt. As we made our way upstairs, bypassing the guards that was downstairs, Hayden and I easily made our way down the hallway of the upper floor of the house. That's Plidgy's door, Hayden whispered to me as we moved slowly and quietly towards it. TT, why such a long face? It's been a full week and you haven't spoken to me as yet. We heard him spoke from outside of his room as we leaned against the wall. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll see if I could get something for that cut. Shit, Timothy has a cut. Fuck no. Once we heard the bathroom door closed a little, Hayden and I quietly and quickly entered the room. My eyes widened when I saw Timothy laying in the bed covered with bruises from head to toe, as blood trickled down his forehead. Instinctively I ran over to him, picked him up and rushed back out the door with Hayden. Hayden, we need to get into a hospital now. He could pass out and die. I tried my best to not to cry, but I was failing terribly as my body began to shake. Calm down, there's a back exit inside that room. He pointed to the door opposite to Plidgy's. Come on, let's go. Hayden had guided us out of the house, which was the first objective. Now the objective was to find something or someone that knows where civilization was, for we were surrounded by a big open golf course, which had trees that looked yards away. and to top it off the night sky wasn't helping one bit, due to the moonlight was shining brightly. "Where the hell are they? Keep searching for them. Check outside," we heard someone yelled as we made a few steps away from the house. "Okay, it's time to run," Hayden said as he aided me with Timothy to place him on my back. With that done, we bolt straight ahead for the trees. As we wandered in the trees heading in no specific direction, I heard and felt Timothy's soft snoring against me, which made me smile. "Is he sleeping?" Hayden quietly asked. "Yeah, I wonder what happened to his head. I would kill Pidgey if I get the chance," he chuckled slightly at me. "That means you will be putting yourself in harm's way. I wouldn't allow that. I guess I will be killing Pidgey for you." His chuckling made me smile at him. He still hasn't changed. After what felt like hours of walking, we heard strange noises, really strange noises, and the closer we got the louder it became. "I think I know what it is," Hayden stated confidently. "You do?" I looked at Hayden as he pushed forward to the right of me and into some parted bushes. "Yep, I was right, come quick." I quickly shuffled into bushes and up to his side. "Yow, it's a crossing zone, and a busy one too. What part of Florida you said this was again?" "Daytona. Come on, let's get going." As we made our way up to the crossing zone, Hayden pushed the small button which took like seconds for the traffic lights to become red so we could cross. Once on the other side, we ran into some people and immediately got their attention. "Excuse me, can you tell me where the nearest hospital or health clinic is?" Hayden asked politely. "You need to calm down, Evan. The doctor is with him now, everything will be fine." I sat in the waiting room of the hospital as Hayden sat next to me, as he held onto my hand while I shook tremendously. "I don't want to lose him. I can't lose him. I don't want to be alone again," I said out of fear. "I know, but you have me as well." I immediately looked up into his face with water pouring out of my eyes. "He's the only one that resembles Mom. If I lose him, then I lose her completely, and I don't think I'll be able to handle that." Hayden drew me into him as he hugged me tightly, then slightly pulled me away as he placed soft kisses on my face and lips. "Don't worry, everything will be fine." With that said, he spotted me a quick smile as he placed another kiss on my lips, which was interrupted by one of the nurses. "Excuse me, boys, but you can go into the room now." The look in Timothy's eyes when he saw me could have powered up an entire planet. "Evan, where have you been?" he exclaimed excitedly and tiredly. Underneath the room you was in. The doctor watched us oddly before Hayden chimed in. "Excuse me, doctor, can you give us a moment, please?" The doctor quickly nodded his head as he made his way out of the room. I immediately dashed over to Timothy on the bed and hugged him close. At the same time, I tried to not hurt his bandaged head nor interfere with IV drip that's on his hand. I had given up and gave in to Pidgey. His words were hollow as he cried, trembling. "Pidgey had told me that you were killed. He said that you did put up a good fight but lost to a wandering bullet." My heart sank as I held him closely in my arms. "Like I said, nothing will take me away from you. Not even that jackass could take you from me." "By the way, what happened to your head?" I asked curiously. "I had stopped eating for a while. You were the only one. I thought about you so much that I would refuse the food that was given to me. Pidgey thought it was disrespectful, so he punished me by having rough sex with me, which gave me all the bruises on my body. Last night, I think I fell because I got dizzy. I hit my head when I did." I glanced over at Hayden that had a guilty expression on his face. "You okay?" He didn't look at me. Instead, he lowered his head. "Yeah, I'm fine. We need to get him something to eat and now, I'll be right back," stated in a low tone. I stayed at Timothy's side as he ate the snacks that Hayden got for him. "You want some, Evan? You look pale as well." Immediately I blushed from the flashback of Hayden feeding me. No, I'm fine, you eat. You need strength in your body. After the doctor check you again to make sure you're completely okay, we're leaving Miami." Timothy nodded humbly as he gave me a warm smile. Evan, can I see you outside for a sec?" I quickly glanced up and saw Hayden as he moved towards the door. Okay." I patted Timothy on the head as I got up to meet Hayden outside. "What's on your mind? We still in the green zone, right?" I asked out of concern. Yeah, it's not that. It's just I would like to apologize for the way I treated you. I said I loved you, but yet out of blind rage I hurt you. I'm willing to do whatever to make up for it, but I feel like I'm getting nowhere," he stated in a defeated tone. Hayden pushed himself back towards the wall as he leaned against it and dropped his gaze. Hayden, I moved closer to him. He lifted his gaze to meet mine as I wrapped his hands around my waist, then I wrapped my arms around his neck. Don't worry, you were getting there. And don't worry about what you did to me, cause I was willing to let you do it again. I closed my eyes as I kissed him. Within a second I felt him kissing me back as the hug got tighter, drawing us closer. I slowly pushed off him as I looked up into his face. He had a smile on his lips with tears building up in his eyes. What's wrong? I asked softly. Nothing, I'm just happy that you accepted me, he responded happily. Okay, you sure that's all? I mean, you look like you're about to lose something, I stated, worried as I kept a smile on my face. No, not lose, Evan, don't worry, I'll be here with you, I promise. He smiled widely as he hugged me again. Finally, we're out the hospital, thought we would never get out. Hey Evan, can we get something to eat? I couldn't help myself laugh at Timothy as he joyfully pranced around me and Hayden. Sure, that actually sounds like a good idea. I'll take you guys out. What we having? Hayden asked as he was on the same level as Timothy. I held onto Hayden's hand as Timothy was on his back. We joked and laughed as we slowly made our way to a diner that was nearby the hospital. Hey, look over there. All three of us turned towards the person that shouted and saw that it was one of Pelagius' men. Run! Hayden commanded as he held my hand tighter as we turned and ran away from the diner. We were cutting corners as we raced through alleys, but the faster we ran the faster it seemed we were being chased. Quick, duck in here, Hayden said as he quickly pulled me into an alley. Damn it, dead end, he hissed. What we are going to do, they're coming. I started to panic as my nerves became limited. Look over there, there's an opening. Both Hayden and I looked at Timothy and saw him point at a narrow space between the buildings. Hayden quickly took Timothy off his shoulders as we rushed over to the pathway. Evan, come on, hurry, Timothy commanded as he stood on the other side. Evan, go, I'll be right behind you, Hayden said softly as he pushed me slightly. Okay, please come right after, waste no second. Hayden kissed me behind the ear as I began to shuffle my way through the narrow space. There they are, this way. Hey, stop or else, I heard one of Pelagius' men as I made my last step out of the narrow space. Hayden, come on, I shouted at him as I watched him enter the space. Get your ass back here, you backstabbing bitch, one of the men harshly pulled him out the space. Hayden, no! I felt the veins in my neck stretched as I screamed out, but immediately it was overpowered by the sound of the gun that was placed against Hayden's head.